Well, they got some armor now. Should be safe to go grab these. All right, we're gonna go into the world map. Trying to form a caravan. We're gonna turn off supplies here. Gonna grab the 4 barrels. 4 barrels. What else is over there? Shells. And a couple components. All right, Vat child, you get a name. Wait, are you a dwarf? You're an honorary dwarf, so you get an honorary dwarf name. Let's see here. Who's next from the naming list? Rabid Hamsters. Missed an S. How many S's are in Rabid Hamster? Oh, I went Hamsters. I was looking for the typo in the wrong end. I was like, hang on, does Hamster's name actually have 2 S's at the end? I was actually not sure. I was looking for it. A minigun weighs half as much as a 3-year-old. Be able to carry and fire them just fine responsibly with your dwarven beer schedule. Can't wait until ROM is converted. Man, we've been waiting on that for so long. So long. We're almost there, though. Child, just drink a beer? Of course they did, yeah. If you're old enough to hold a gun, you're old enough to drink a beer, right? How often do they need to drink? Once every 5 days, or else they'll start getting unhappy. I have them at once every 4 right now to kind of bridge the gap a little bit. These dwarves are elves. Don't worry, they'll get a beer every day before long. Can you shock lance boss mech? Yes, you can. And when I said that I think that should be nerfed, I had people commenting on YouTube telling me that it shouldn't be. All right. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that a giant mech would just be one shot with a shock lance, no problem. It's definitely busted. I think so too. Another vat. Let's run into a child. All right. Get out of there. There you go. Get your chain shotgun. Start drinking beer, child. You're 3 years old. Been coddled long enough. Was born, got a gun and a beer. That's right. Are we sure this is the Dwarven run? The beer shall flow. Disgusting, you're left behind. A mech drop and an auto mortar. You just like saved and tabbed out. It's all right. Future me will take care of that. Vat Red has become a child. The Vat children. Vat Red. You just get an old-fashioned shotgun. Sorry, kid. Sorry, kid, but you'll get a name. Who is it? SilverSkeeter. You know, all these kids are brothers and sisters, so if we ever have one of them die, people are gonna get real unhappy. Very, very unhappy. Torgman. I know. I'm trying to make sure I don't do any Dwarven inbreeding, so. That's actually one reason why we kept the Pegleg child. Pegleg child drop potted in, and she's a baseliner. So when she gets 16, she's gonna be having a lot of children. 16, yeah, that's the first age they can start having babies. In RimWorld, anyway. Thankfully. Okay. Raid. Tag immediately. Tag immediately. Let's grab everyone. Get here. Let's check this out. No big explosives. Any shield belts? Or not shield belts. Low shields. I don't see any low shields. They are heavily armored pigs, though. Some heavily armored little piggies. Big piggies. Oh, crap. Someone haul that away. We'll never do hauling. Why do I choose the people that can never do hauling? Wow, that pig took off. That's weird. Well, they got some armor now. I didn't see it. Well, this needs fixed. If we survive it. Had their stomach and kidney destroyed. Crap. All right, we got to fix that. Child. Growth moment from Lumberjack. What timing? All right, Lumberjack. Steadfast. Teach all sickly or fast learner. Ooh. Fast learner there. Fast learner. Another cook. Let's do cooking and mining on that one. It's the best metal to make melee weapons out of these days. Basically plasteel for sharp and uranium for blunt still, just like always. Wow, that missing stomach's gonna be a real friggin' pain. Maybe we'll grab a biosculptor sometime. Stripping these to get metal off some of this stuff. Buying the biotech DOC, is it worth it to buy ideology as well? I like ideology a lot. Like, I mean, if you're only buying one at the moment, obviously I would get biotech, but ideology would be definitely the second one that I would personally go after. What do you do with your melee pawns without the shotgun setup? If they're brawlers, I just leave them as melee, but later on, I'll just give everyone guns in a normal playthrough. How much longer on this? We're at 30%. ROM is so close. No stomach, one kidney. Yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough going for Goat. Growth moment for Phifer. Phifer, jealous, fast learner, chemical interest massages. What should I take? This is very tough. Fast learner. I think shooting and cooking, I suppose. Let's take jealous. You had a refugee join and he's a different religion. Should you rename him Sacrifice? It's up to you. Yeah, you can either try to convert him or you can just kill him. It's our point where steel traps are worth it. Steel traps are actually really good, especially against pretty much everything other than centipedes. But the downside, of course, is like steel is a precious commodity. But if you are mining like thousands of steel or something, yeah, just use them. Or if you're in like a tough, actually put down a few early in this because we were in a tough spot. We had an early centipede raid way earlier than I thought. We got 5 centipedes coming in, and so I went ahead and threw some steel traps down to get some extra damage in. Even though, like I said, they're not as great against centipedes. But they're better than wood they're like the in-between, but they're take a very long time to make. They do more damage, they have more armor penetration. They're better than wood, but yeah, not as good as steel. All right, another raid preparing here. 47 tribals. Was this Cassandra's second attack? It was. Okay, so we can use combat command. The infantry, that's right. We need to get to masterwork chain shotguns. What we need to get to. The conga line of death. I still gotta make this better against the pirates. The pirates really scared me. I actually thought we were gonna lose some people in that last fight. This one I'm not too worried about. Obviously we could still have like a Vig or Sloth get an arm chopped off, but yeah, this is nothing after that. Hide in your room. Okay, perfect. All right, that means Cassandra is on cooldown. So we have a little time to recover and get this repaired and get some things there fixed. Yeah, the Warhammer is actually pretty good. It's only literally a good quality one. It's not even like anything nuts. What storyteller do I prefer? I think Cassandra is harder. So I think Cassandra for challenge runs makes it harder, and I think Randy allows me to experiment more, I would say. Let's go in Rom. You're fine. You're fine. Oh my god, it's like we're on a jungle map. Cassandra has been just a real jerk. I swear. What in the world? It seems like she hits us with a disease a bit between every cooldown. Nurgle storyteller right now. Cassandra's Papa Nurgle. She doesn't look quite like Papa Nurgle, but try it. Yes! Finally! Oh my god, Rom's a dwarf! God, that took like 2 years! Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Now we can start converting all the other people. We have quite a few to convert. We'll just do a couple at a time, I suppose. Gotta be careful about this. Guess we can just do that in here. So we'll get a zone. Stockpile zone. We'll throw it right here. Clear all. We'll go simple meals. Critical. Yeah, now ROM can do the wording and converting. Yeah, so it'll be a lot faster for all these others. So first one up on the list will be Lilith. And then as the children grow up, we'll convert them. Now we can use the conversion on cooldown on the kids as well. Be able to use the healing cooldown now instead of having to save it for all the conversions. What ideology do the kids start with? Well, because we have multiple ideologies in here, I don't know how it picks, but they've been starting out as different ideologies. So Psychic Harmonizer with a high bait might be a good idea too. Yeah. Right now, Rom's a little unhappy, but it's because they are so hungry. Oh crap, that's why. I really need a better cook or another cook. One of the kids is learning how to do the cooking, but he's not quite there yet. All the kids watching Sloth Demon cook, even though Sloth's not great at it. Standard 4x times growing speed is too slow or fast for kids. It feels pretty decent, yeah, all things considered. I can definitely see an argument to speeding up or, well, it just depends on what kind of playthrough you're doing, but the 1 year per quadrum is kind of what I was thinking when the children were announced, so I'm glad that's kind of the default, but 4x is about right. I think so too. One year per quadrum seems all right. Do I make heavy SMGs or assault rifles? It depends on the run. So heavy SMGs versus assault rifles. People would ask that a lot lately. It depends on the run, what your distance on your kill setup is. It depends on a lot of things. But typically in my runs, I try to get to assault rifles because I use a lot of, in a normal run, because I use a lot of kiting and outranging enemies. So the assault rifles are very good at that. They're better than charge rifles in that scenario. So any tips on making money? So there's lots of ways to make money. Again, it kind of depends on what kind of map you have, what your colonists have. So just take advantage of what your colonists are good at. You have some people that are good at crafting. Well, make corsets, make corsets or top hats and sell them if you have royalty. If you don't, make cowboy hats or vests or whatever, right? So you can do that route. If you have people that are good at art, then make artwork out of blocks and then just get it out of there and trade it. You have a lot of people that are quick at cooking, make drugs and sell them. So there's lots of different things that you can do depending on what your map is and what your people are good at or whatnot. But yeah, I usually go for something that is light and sells to just about everyone. So even things like Psychite Tea is very, very good. And Psychite Tea is good for your colony to take as well in moderation. So, but yeah, again, like most answers, it depends. But turning textiles into clothing, turning stone blocks into artwork, turning your extra cropland into drug production, all those are good for money. Hats better to make than jackets for profit. The best textile item to make for profit is a corset. Corsets take longer to make, but they're more profit. Cigars are a mod, yeah, so I usually, when I'm talking about things, like I would say 99.9% of the time, if I'm telling you a strategy or the best of this and the best of that or what to use in a certain scenario, I'm not including any mods in it because I don't use those mods. And that gives you like a baseline. So if there was like a modded thing that's better to make and sell for profit, I have no idea. But sure there are, but I'm not going to cover those. It's like a million mods. So oh, I want to get some more stuff done, and then these diseases. Hey, lay down. Oh, yours is over. Never mind. As you were. Wow, a Vig is almost died from the plague. Yeah. It was actually catching up. We got a good 10 there finally, though. Was I in the military? No, you don't hear people say as you were, like I do, that weren't in the military. So here's the thing about it, Claw. I almost was. I was very close to. So in high school, I was doing the whole ROTC thing. I was on Raiders, competitive Raiders team. I was on a competitive rifle team and stuff like that. And I was getting set up. I had like things written for me. I was supposed to go to like an officer training thing or whatever. And then I snapped my left arm. All the bones in my forearm just completely ruined my left arm. I still have tons of metal and screws and everything else in there. And not only did I get that physical injury, but suddenly I couldn't do Raiders or rifle team. I couldn't do varsity basketball and sports anymore. And I got really depressed, and I just stopped doing all of it. And I completely didn't go that direction in my life. I was going to. I was getting all prepared for it. And, you know, who knows what would have happened if I did. Start playing video games, yeah. What happened to my arm? It's a painful story. Some people are going to really not like me retelling it, but I can tell it. Sure, I'll tell the story of my arm. All right. You're going to mute, be back in 5. It's painful. It's painful. So, did I fall on it? That's one way to put it. So when I was a teenager, we had a house fire. Our house burned down, and I barely survived. Literally barely survived. It was like a movie scene. My mom and I ran out, barely got out. It was black smoke, and we jumped from the front porch, and the house behind us literally collapsed. That side of it, not the whole thing. So I almost died in a house fire, right? So that's the start of it. Well, that house was on a concrete slab, and the concrete slab was about 2 feet higher than the ground or so. 2.5, 3 feet higher than ground. All right, all that got bulldozed, all that got cleared out, and we brought a trailer into the property and lived in the trailer while the house thus was getting cleaned out. Okay, winter comes, and you know, I'm a kid, I'm doing whatever, teenager, I'm outside, and where they had bulldozed stuff, there was a big pile of dirt left over right at the edge of that concrete. And up on that concrete slab, we had like, you know, like a picnic table type thing. Like we basically were kind of using it as just like a whatever. So it's winter, and I go out there and I go up on that, and I'm just doing whatever. I'm hanging out, you know, I don't remember exactly what I'm doing. And then my mom, dinner's ready. So my mom opens the front door of the trailer, and she yells out, you know, dinner. And so I turn and I kind of jog, and I go to jump off the side of this just 2.5 foot high concrete, right? There was black ice on the edge of it. I didn't know. There was a strip of ice there that I couldn't see, and it was right next to that hill. So my instinct, as I'm being thrown forward from slipping on the ice, is to put my arms out to catch myself, right? Well, that's where the hill is. So I put my arms out, but because the ground is uneven, the hill catches all the force of my left arm. So all the force of me sliding on the ice and falling gets twisted into that one arm, and it snaps, and the bones come through the skin. So I have all these scars. I have huge scars on my left arm. And I start like yelling, right? And then we live out in the middle of nowhere. My mom comes out. She's freaking out, obviously. And I'm telling her my arm, you know, my arm is screwed up. And she gets me in the truck. And starts flying down our driveway. Our driveway is you know, gravel driveway. It's a long driveway. We're talking like a half-mile gravel driveway. And I can feel every friggin' bump in those bones. It is hurting. And we go to the nearest hospital, which is like 25, 30 minutes away. We go in. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm actually wearing like my basketball sweatshirt. And I go in to the emergency room, and they bring me in, and a nurse comes in, and they're like used to kids breaking their arms, right? Lots of kids break their arms, have a minor break. And so they don't realize it's as bad as it is. So instead of cutting the sweatshirt off, she takes it and she pulls it off of me. And it scrapes across friggin' bone and blood in my arm. And this is the first time actually seeing it. So she pulls it off, and it scrapes across that. I'm in like friggin' agony, like screaming. And she sees it, and you can see the look in her face is instantly like, oh, Jesus Christ, this isn't just a small fracture. And my arm is like literally bent in like a U shape with bone coming out of it. And the doctor comes in and they're like, you have to have surgery on this arm like now or you're going to lose it. But the closest place that can do surgery is like an hour and a half away. So they get me in the ambulance. They take me an hour and a half. The ambulance gets there in like 45 minutes. We are flying down the freeway and they do surgery on my arm that night. They save the arm, but the arm is full of metal and it doesn't work very great anymore. So it's good enough to use WASD. So anyway, that's the whole story that I tell about once a year about my arm. And so that was the end of varsity sports and of competitive raiders and rifle team and all that. It changed the direction of my life incredibly. What's my manipulation at? I don't know. Good enough for WASD though. I needed bionics, yeah. You feel traumatized hearing it? Pretty gross is an understatement. It was rough. It was rough. Man. But yeah, like I was saying, it actually changed the trajectory of my life so much. It's kind of crazy thinking about it. Like I probably would have never met Mod Wife, you know. I definitely wouldn't be here streaming, I'm sure. I would have probably took that scholarship. I would have went into that officer training thing. I would have probably ended up in Iraq or Afghanistan. I could be dead. Who knows? Who knows? At that time, it was like the worst thing ever, you know? But now, who knows? Could have been the best thing for me.
You, my friend, are rated E for excellent.
Sorry to say this, I'm happy you broke your arm. Keep the war crimes in RimWorld. You missed something? What'd you miss? I told a story about my arm. It's pretty gross, but... Alright, well, the disease is over. Vig was a little scary there. Lilith, what are you helping with right now? Lilith's helping with plants. We need to convert them. We might try it the old-fashioned way first. You know what? Let's see if we can get some mood increase here. Haven't been using these this run as much, but I'll start using them more again. Do you have a gathering spot in your storage room at all? Gathering spot can be a table, fireplace, or sounds like Planet Zoo music. I've never heard that one. Planet Zoo music's good. Yeah, I just never heard anyone relate this one to Planet Zoo. I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. Planet Zoo is a fun game. My wife was just playing that the other day. Best way to ideology to convert kids is to arrest them when they're older. Yeah, I mean, you can use the conversion on cooldown. It seems like they get converted relatively easily. So you can use conversion on cooldown. I'm actually thinking about making the Vig no longer the priest, but they're going to get really upset if I do it. But that's all right. I think it'd be better to make Rom into them. I think I'll do that after this next conversion. So we'll work on converting one of the little kids here. Sounds weird. Never too young to indoctrinate. That's what I always say. That's what my granny always said. They're growing up, or aren't they getting yours? It's because we had a couple people in the colony that weren't our ideology because they were auto joins, and like Rom here, for instance, wasn't our ideology. So when the kids were born, they were coming out as random ideologies, it seemed, within the colony. Kind of annoying. Wow, now that we're not using the growth vats, we suddenly have so many mushrooms. Isn't that crazy? The growth vats take that much. Hey, let's do a couple growth vats all the way to adulthood. Let's just do it. Why not? See how they turn out. All right, let's do some of that. Operation. Get that over. Vat-grown soldier dudes. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Are kids still OP and easy to make into god pawns? Yep. Yeah. It'll make them less than ideal, but it'll make them soldiers. And that's. I need some soldiers now. Oh, I need some fast soldiers. Ten-year-old is not old enough to fertilize an ovum in RimWorld. If anyone was asking. It's kind of weird how Claude does the operation and then he fertilizes it. Yeah, so he does the operation, it extracts the ovum, and then he fertilizes it on the floor next to the hospital bed. What an unprofessional fertility clinic. So hash monkey, let's see, convert. Okay. The Vig's gonna be upset by this, but oh well. So we're gonna go into social and we're going to remove their current role. Who is gonna come to the ceremony where we're removing them? Like 5 of the kids. There we go. 5 kids are gonna show up and watch them be stripped of their title. Be like Nelson from The Simpsons. Ha ha. Yeah. Sorry, Big. Okay, now the moral guide, also watched over by the children. Romnom's doing all the brainwashing from now on. That's exactly why we're doing this. Yep. Make it much faster. All right. So Lilith, we're gonna convert them. Don't think it'll take long. We should probably wait until after the next Cassandra attack. I need to finally fix all this too. I need that mined out. There's a lot we need to do. A lot we need to do. Growth moment. Raiman, 10 years old. 3 skills, Raiman. Look at you. What'd you get so far? Tough. Look at all these options. That sucks though. I guess I'll take Bloodlust. Unfortunately, Bloodlust is going to have social issues. They're going to have social fights. But the good news is he can wear tainted armor. So that's our best bet out of what we're doing right now. Planting, shooting, mining. All right. Rayman is now a 10-year-old. Pegleg child just hit adulthood. Wow, Pegleg child, look at you. Fast learner on, let's see. Hard worker, fast learner, fast walker. Construction. Wow. Pegleg. All right, let's get Pegleg a real name now. Let's get them a real name. That's a good pun. Let's see. Anzer. Their title is still Pegleg Child. Okay, Anzer. So you can get good at all those. Put you on construction first. You're a fast learner. You'll get up there in no time at all. No time at all. There you go, Anzer. All right. Let's start working on this here. These, yeah, so if you're wondering why I'm using smaller bedrooms, even though I am using bedrooms just for fun this run, but why are they smaller than most people use? Well, the reason why is because we're tunneler and we don't care about cramped spaces. It does impact the room size. Yeah, the interior by this is 3x5. So 3x5 interior, tunnelers don't care. And it's still really easy to get to slightly impressive, which is a decent mood buff. So that's why we're tunnelers, so I don't have to worry about it too much. When will I fight you? If you're worthy for the battle, you already know the coordinates. So I'll meet you at the coordinates tomorrow. Don't be late. I'm only gonna wait around for 5 minutes. See you there. Fun, why are your bedrooms so empty? That's a fun bedroom. What do you do in your bedroom? We're doing more than sleeping in there and bed-related activities. You should stop. What's the turret for? It's to bait certain raids. I'll show that when we get one of those raids, but the annual viewer brawl, yeah. Hey, this is the first time that we haven't had a infestation in the first part of the stream on this playthrough. Nice. Shouldn't say that. I actually want to get a bait room set up sometime soon. Aren't the mushroom rooms bait room? No, I want a different controlled one, yeah. Like, technically, they could spawn out here, which I need to move these, speaking of. But I want a more controlled bait room eventually. Bulk goods. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I've been waiting on one of those. All right, we're going to need more components soon, but we're about to buy some. Oh, yeah, we'll get some painting. We'll get some painting going. Still one of my favorite parts of the stream I've had in a long time. All right, that looks like where they're stopping. All right, unfortunately, they don't have components, so. Really gain tribal and kill a raid. You get a bolt action revolver and an auto pistol. Which your colonist gets which one? Or best, middle, or worst shooting skill? So the answer usually is it depends, but honestly, in a tribal setup, which of those guns am I on a normal raid where the raid is going to be and I'm in close proximity, I actually give the auto pistol to my good shooter, because the auto pistol actually has, it does a lot of damage, it does a lot of wounds, and it has a lot of stopping power because of how many shots it hits. So I really like the auto pistol early game. If you can pick one up like just off of someone, it's actually pretty good. And actually you can see it in action with the actually with the Mechanitor start. The Mechanitor starts with the Masterwork auto pistol, and it's actually pretty good, especially early game when on, you know, 2, 3, whatever, 4 raiders, whatever you're starting out with. So yeah, the auto pistol is actually a pretty decent gun. Now, if you're doing something like going and pulling a mech cluster, or you're going and pulling an early siege, or you have a way to bounce a raid back and forth between doors, then yeah, giving them like the bolt action, depending on quality, is great, because you can peek out, you can get a shot in, you can duck back in. But yeah, don't sleep on the early game auto pistols for sure. They're actually decent in the early game. It depends. The big 3, yeah. Wonder how long a compilation of It Depends would be. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't want to watch that though. I want nothing to do with one of those.